We hear about boundaries all the time, and for really great reason. But what are boundaries anyway? Hey folks, I'm Tia, licensed therapist at Roots Relational Therapy. I make videos that offer tips on how to improve your relationship with yourself and other people. Today, we're talking about boundaries. This is the first video in my series on boundaries, so make sure that you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the rest of the series. What are boundaries? Boundaries establish expectations and communicate how we want to be treated by others. Boundaries provide a consistent structure for managing physical and psychological space between people. When we typically think about what a boundary is, it's usually described as like a wall that protects you and keeps everybody else out. But I think there's a better way to describe them. Boundaries are not barriers. Rather, think of boundaries as a bridge between 2 points of sustainable connection. Our boundaries are our laid out path for other people to connect with us. We're telling them how to treat us and interact with us. Unless they take that path, they don't get access to us. But how do we come up with boundaries in the first place? Depending on the situation, this could be a tough question. But in general, safety and comfort are good guidelines to start with. You should feel physically and emotionally safe around a person in order to interact with them. And you should feel like it's worth your time and your energy to connect with them. If you experience dread or high levels of annoyance, or frustration, or discomfort, that's a sign that the way things are right now is actually not okay with you and you'd like it to be different. We can't expect people to read our minds or pick up on subtle hints. We have a responsibility to know what our boundaries are and to communicate them to other people clearly and consistently through our words and our behaviors. We're responsible for keeping boundaries too. More on that in the next video. Perhaps the person you need to set a boundary with is a family member or a loved one. There's a certain level of obligation that you somehow feel loyal or indebted to. Perhaps there's a bigger power dynamic that you don't feel in control of. Perhaps that person is struggling with substance abuse or mental illness. It's difficult to tread the line between supportive and enabler. Or perhaps there's a part of you that loves the drama. Look, I'm not sure what your unique situation is, but I do know that half the battle with setting boundaries is getting to a place of knowing yourself, understanding others, and having a little guidance on how to navigate those tough conversations. If any of this resonates with you, check out my other video on emotional coddling. In it, you'll learn more on the struggle of being honest when we know that somebody could get hurt or won't like it, and how to navigate that with respect and authenticity. People with boundaries tend to have happier and healthier relationships that can be sustained over time. So their relationships are better and they last longer. Yeah, it's good to be empathetic and compassionate towards other people, but not at the expense of your own well-being. Knowing yourself includes protecting yourself. Mismanaging your boundaries is a shortcut back to losing yourself. While physical boundaries, like walls and fences, tend to be static, boundaries in relationships are an organic and living process. Relationship boundaries may change over time given the situation, or where you and the other person are mentally and emotionally. What used to be okay may not be okay anymore, and it's important to allow yourself and other people to express when there is a need for change. What if the person struggling with boundaries is you? Hopefully this video gives you insight to the importance of boundaries and why people feel the need to set them with everybody, not just you, so that you see the bigger picture and you don't take it personally. Everybody needs boundaries, but perhaps you just happen to be in a different place in your personal journey. Maybe right now, other people's boundaries still trigger an insecure or defensive aspect of you, and you still interpret it as a personal attack or a sign of abandonment or punishment. There is no shame in where you are right now. This is part of the journey. The key is to be aware of it and committed to continuing to improve. And you are definitely not alone in this. As a therapist, I'm obviously biased towards therapy and feel like most people can benefit from the therapeutic process. If you struggle with setting and maintaining boundaries, therapy is a great place to practice acknowledging your needs, navigating tough boundary conversations with other people, and feel prepared to handle potential boundary violations. If you're curious about what therapy might look like for you, visit my website at rootsrelationaltherapy.com. Schedule a free 15-minute phone consultation with me to see if therapy would be a good fit for you. If you found this video helpful, share it with a friend, click the like button, be sure to subscribe, and stay tuned for my next 2 videos in the Boundary series.